Yo, it's been a while. It's been a long time. Time. Time's a bitch. Straight up. Sorry, no censoring. Time is a bitch. But that seems to be the problem. That seems to be the issue. Took a while. Sat down. Just closed everything. No games. Possibly a bit of music. No videos. Just thinking about the situation, okay? And thinking about other things at the same time, but thinking about the situation, and time is the thing I need. Right now, seeing I want to get an art job and I'm still stuck doing, QA. Like I've always said, it's been cringing. The specific place I was, and that's been a downer experience for, the last year. The first year was fine because, entry, lots of promises, and it's like, all right, let's go, let's go, let's go. But then noticing that a lot of promises weren't filled, there was starting to be a bit of a segregation, but between in-house testers and outsourced and blah blah blah, and all that. So all that is mood altering. Honestly, I can't be a fucking robot. Like, I know this. I can't be a robot. I can't. Sound like I said I can't. Sometimes I can, but honestly, personally, I can't be a robot. That's not the way I go. So it becomes quite cringing to just stick at a place I know is not going to fulfill the promise, to stick at a place that I know doesn't show me any kind of future, and it's just the rinse and repeat motions. And personally, it's just not, it's just not it. It's just doesn't feel like that company. As I spoke in the game testing vlog, that company which was like, all right, let's go, okay, permanent ship, integration into production, at least some one-on-one with artists, and things are progressing. It's just not like that. The place I'm at feels like a place that's just, you sit there, you do this thing, no one cares you're a number. And I've been to other places like that, haven't stayed there too long, but it's just not the thing, and that's been fucking around with my mood in general. And also, another problem, and that's, self-created, is tackling on way too many projects, here and there, just going with the stupid counter system of jumping on one thing and then jumping on another, instead of doing a bit like Street Fighter and Guilty Gear and just sticking around one thing, beating it, and then proceeding to the next thing. And what I've, just kind of self-analyzed was, I was thinking that these things, mini project, either my own or either others, I was thinking of them in the wrong way, also considering my time. So there's been time where I would either start a mini project, like the one I tried to do with After Effects, still under wraps, to be determined, okay? I was starting that to try and make a joke about something that's coming up. Yet, at the same time, I was working on my comic. At the same time, I was working on something for the convention. And then I wanted to work on something to present to specific studios in order to get hired. So, we have the After Effects things, we have the comic, we have the thing for the convention, and we have the thing for the studio. And that's just prominent 4. There's more. There's way fucking more. Because you got to consider Patreon, which could be linked with the comic. But you see, that batch of time is already just thimblevertent with all these. And there's more. So that was way too much. That is already way too much. And then there's extra commissions to do for certain people. So up to more, 6. And too much. And all this, or most of this, was thinking to try and get into studios as well. So it didn't remedy the situation at all. Nothing was remedied by doing that. Also, you know, watching videos, trying to play video games at the same time. Too much. Way too fucking much. That's why at one point I started to reduce the gaming recording, because that was taking a part of time, but that wasn't helping my career. And even doing that, I was still trying to do too many projects at the same time. Now, that, of course, it doesn't really work. And what I've came up with, you know, after like a good 2 weeks of just meditating under a waterfall, not really, but just thinking, okay, clearing things out and thinking and attempting to work on certain things slowly. Well, gotta slow down. That's one thing. So right now, I gotta set a priority list, okay? The convention that's coming up next month, that is priority number 1, okay? Because this is coming up and I have to get this ready for this specific convention. So all my little side project that kind of have to be tossed to the side, except the comic. The comic has to stay as one of the main, you know, secondary objective, and you have the convention as the main objective. That upcoming convention in 1 month. In 2 months, there's a convention that will require the comic. So the comic is going back as main first priority. With the current main priority for that convention, the work I need to focus on for that convention, this is the work I need to just zone in on and make it the best work I can do. Because with that, I'm going to take this, shove it into my portfolio as, you know, the highest, quote unquote, my personal highest tier work. Because it's been a long time. It's been a hilariously long time where I took this chunk of time to do higher tier work. Because of a couple of things, including the college program I took, I was in this mode where the more I did quickly, the more work I can pull out and display. And, you know, some stupid seminars I took about studio work and just rush. No. I'm reading old books like The Illusion of Life, The Animator's Survival Guide, Animation from Script to Screen. There we go. These kind of books, like fucking reading. Back to reading these huge books to just get the mindset that the old schoolers and the old masters had, which is a terrific way to work. So this sucks because right now the situation that I'm at is I want to get out of game testing. It's been 8 to 9 years. Sick of it, especially the way the big industry is going to. Despise it. I despise the attitude that's going on there, and maybe that's something for another vlog. But I want out. That's affecting my mood. That's affecting how, you know, sometimes some people see me at the office, you know, some people see me at the office really jaded. And this is affecting my fucking mood. At the same time, I hate that mood. I really do. Back when I was at company, I forgot what title I said. Y, Z, you know, the good one, okay? Everything was great. I wasn't jaded. Sky high. I had some passion. I was punching shit with epic fury. Fury of good fury, you know, not the angry fury on the paper. And I want to get back to that state. That's a state that was good. I was interacting with a lot of people. I was going outside. And now, because of this current struggle, I have this thing where I want to stick interior, and I want to constantly work to try and get out of that. But the way I was doing it was so many things, nothing was really getting accomplished. So I need to take this chunk of time to just sit down, focus. Two red pencils. They just fell. All right, I gotta change this equipment before the next convention. But I gotta sit down, do this work, bring it to a higher quality, a higher tier. No videos, only music, no YouTube. Video games, only that 2 or 3 hours I get a week, maybe 6 a week, but only focusing on one thing at a time. Right now, convention, then comic. And when it comes to artwork, okay, something else I kind of picked up. Sorry, I got to pick those two things out. Broke one. Doesn't matter. It's a red pencil. I barely use those. So, another thing that I kind of noticed, or just dwelled in further and further, is when I draw, no distraction. No distractions at all. Even music can somewhat be a distraction, but that's mostly because the music I like helps me think about certain scenes and situations for characters. That could be a bit troublesome if I jump from one project to another with that music, or depending on that music. But no distraction. Why? Because the more I stay in that zone while I draw, the easier it gets to be to understand how to draw the character, or how to dwell further into the character's attitude, okay? For a while, and I guess I could do this extensively as a Patreon blog or vlog or something else, but for a while, this character, okay, surfer character, this character, treasure huntress, this character this character that, and it's like, no. Took a recent class with David Coleman, animator that's been at Pixar. He's been at multiple places, and just listening to that in the background while I walk, while I draw, and then eventually just clearly sitting down and watching the video while listening, listening and watching the video, okay? Anyways, the concept of drawing a character and understanding what this character is, who this character is, what this character is thinking, how this character is acting, and then being able to see the character in motion as you draw. That requires, well, for me, it requires a lot of concentration. And this is something I should have had, or should have investigated upon beforehand. Yet, hey, you live and learn, but this is where I'm at right now. Trying to toss everything away and getting into that zone. Because I'm learning better methods, or I'm realizing better methods to draw characters. Not simply looking at reference, but using the reference and the elements inside a reference, let's say like anatomy or blah blah blah, to then go, okay, this character is a mid-tier person that's not highly physical, but still somewhat, not big, but not muscly. So why or how would that look? And how would that influence how this character moves and that character's daily life? That's the thing. Getting this whole mental palace of just going, okay, well, why would this character be wearing this on the arm? What good does it do? What's the origin of this? Does it go all the way to this character's, let's say, native homeland? Does it go with a culture thing? What's linked to this culture? Or all the other characters in that specific culture, similar dressing style, and then what are the variations? What do the variations represent? Is it going all the way back to a mythical or a legend that this place and culture has? And you see, you can just dive into that for clothes, for elements, for elements such as, let's say, houses. You can go that for environment and all those little nitty things in the elements, and start creating or thinking of mini stories for these basic assets. But all of that just comes together within the character that you're developing, the background for that character, and the entire surrounding of that character in that specific space. And when you take that character and bring it to another environment, bam! Conflict. Why is there conflict? What's with this new place? Why is it foreign? What works with this place? What's the history of this place? How does this place work? Mechanical, steam, electricity? How does it work? And just having this explosion of thoughts while you're drawing, and not just drawing to make lines, but drawing to create life. That is something I'm slowly getting. But for that, and just like one of the old school animators on the Animator Survival Guide said, animation's concentration. And on the basic quote, it's hard to figure it out. But the more, let's say, you listen to people with that kind of experience telling you about their experience, not taking it to the letter, but understanding the experience, that could just unlock a lot of doors in your mind. Like recently, Glenn Keane spoke about how, if you don't know Glenn Keane, animated Tarzan, Beauty and the Beast, Ariel, did some really good concept work for Rapunzel, Tangled. So, guy's a veteran. And he was speaking about how he came up with some of his characters. And it was fascinating because you get to Ariel, representative of his wife that wanted to do many things. And he channeled that energy as well as a bit of the look into Ariel. Taking from experience, not simply labeling it's a mermaid with long hair. No. It's a person that has the wonder to discover the outside, that just wants to explore outside of the comfort zone, that wants to be free in that sense and meet up with other people that aren't alike, It's quite fascinating, and you reading, just sometimes these things won't be told in videos. Sometimes behind the scenes might not tell you everything about those stories. And then you have big books that will tell you about such things. Hell, Animation Sir, what was it? The Illusion of Life, okay? Going back to this thing. Okay, I took off the cover, that weird cover. But The Illusion of Life, alright? This tells you a good amount of stuff about how the old... Wow, that happens. F you, Fallout Box. That tells you about how the beginning animators, let's say the starting animators at Disney, and the Nine Old Men, how they didn't just draw lines, but they were drawing emotions and characters, and they would go into those depths, and they would kind of dabble on to, let's say, shape as well, because shape influences a couple of things about the character, how the character is appealing. But there's a lot of talk about attitudes and motion and what goes into that. And this is the kind of stuff that got to take some more time to read. Time! God, I want to make a time paradox. But time. Just time. Time to read. Time to toss everything away and focus. Time to do the best work I can for a convention that comes up. Time to do the best work I can for my comic and fully understand that world. Because for a while, especially when it came to my character designs, it's like, this is the character. This is the character. Just visually, but not enough attitude, not enough emotions, not enough delving into everything that goes around the myth. So, it's just taking time. And especially with this situation, let's see if taking a lot of time or taking enough time, you know, a good chunk of time to make higher tier work compared to the ones I post on Instagram, not saying that they're shit, but there's a gap of time. There's a gap of tier, there's a gap of time, okay? So, let's see if just shoving that in there is going to help the portfolio. And the next step into that is being way more aggressive. For a while, I've been passive. Here's a portfolio there. Here's my resume. Sits here for a month. Hey, look at my work. Yeah. Not giving a card. Fuck that. Just dropping that out. I'm throwing it out the window. I want this badly. I want the fucking draw. I want to get better at it. I want to do work for others. And I want to fucking do this. So, instead of being a passive pussy, because I'm just calling myself straight up by doing that little thing of, oh, I'm going to apply and hope everything works. Passive is shit. That's not the way things are working now. And sucks. Alright? Being that pacifist and being that passive with things hasn't worked for like years. Time to get aggressive. Throw that card out. Yo, like and subscribe. It's an old card, but yo, the new design's gonna be awesome. Just go. Have some card. You, person in the street. Have a card. Do like that. But if I really want to get to that level of drawing, if I really want to draw for people, I'll fucking do it and get to this point and just give people a place to look at as well. Because who knows, shenanigans on Instagram, that's got to continue. That's still great practice, but hey, gotta get out there. And frankly, it's about time. Hell, the years are passing. Time is being wasted. I gave a lot of time to the game industry, and right now, looking at the way things are going for big companies, wasted time. I've met a lot of great people, met a lot of great contacts, still people I interact with whenever I have time, but career-wise and what I really want to do hasn't really helped, you know. There's a bit of a balance there. So, anyway, I'll stop droning on. I'll try to just have some posters here or there of saying, you gotta do a vlog on this, you gotta do a vlog on that. Getting a bit more structured with this, because there's so many topics that just pop up and I could just go on for 50 minutes. But frankly, I need to draw, so thanks again for listening. If you have any comments, just drop them in the description. Sorry, I'm choking on halls, alright? Drop them in the comments. Drop them in the comments, okay? If you have any tips, drop it in comments. Or at the ROM HQ Facebook page. I'm running with that name, okay? I blame it on Next Gen Comics. NXT Comics. I'll get their names. I'll get their names right. Blame it on you, the Ryans. Which we are going to be teaming up for Comic-Con. Comic-Con Montreal, not San Diego. Too expensive. I'm out. Later, guys.